Well, hey there, it's your old pal Keith from wavetables.lol, home of KRC Mathwaves, a gigantic collection of waveforms and wavetables for today's modern wavetable synthesizers, including Pigments. Now, I usually demo in Korg Modwave, and I usually talk about other synthesizers like Serum and Vital as being things that can use the KRC Mathwaves wavetable collection, but as you can see here, I am currently playing some wavetables from my recent Vosim collection of wavetables that are all part of KRC Mathwaves. It's 140,000 plus wavetables. So, Pigments, I had a question from someone in the comments on my previous video saying, how can I use these in the Pigments? And well, there are three ways to import wavetables into Pigments. Let's go through them really quick in order of how smart they are. So whenever you have a wavetable engine loaded, whether you're in edit mode or in play mode, you can select a wavetable, right? And you would, by default, you'd have the factory wavetables. Let's go back here to edit mode. You'll see that on the left side here, you've got all the factory content, and then there's a thing called imported. This is where things go if you would import a single wavetable, but you can also import entire folders of wavetables, which would be the smart way to do this with a collection as large as KRC Mathwaves. So let's just show single import real quick. I would click this. Let's show that again. I would click this. This is the single waveform import button, and it's weird that it didn't light up there. I don't know, that seems a little bit bugged, but I could navigate to any 32-bit 2048 sample per frame wavetable file. This is what I call Serum/Vital format. It's the same format supported across most of the modern wavetable synthesizers. You could just go grab a single one here, open it up, and boom, it gets imported. Now, what happens is that what Pigments does is it literally just copies the file. It copies the file from like where it existed in the source directory, and it puts it in this user samples directory. Now on Windows, this is under, whatever drive you've got this installed on, so that's typically going to be C. And then it's underneath ProgramData, which is actually a hidden file, and unless you're an administrator and you manually made it visible. But inside of ProgramData, there's then an Arturia folder, a samples folder, and then Pigments, and then user, and that's where these go. So I'm there right now, and if I were to go here into imported, you will see that there is the mconf27, the wavetable that I just imported. Okay, that's all it does. So you could also manually just copy things into the imported folder. Also, it turns out you can just copy an entire folder directory of wavetables into this user folder, and they'll show up in Pigments. But let's just do it the old-fashioned way, shall we? And we can go here again to select a wavetable. Doesn't matter what we have selected over here, we'll have access to this Add Folder button. Click that, and then you can navigate to a folder of wavetables. Now, when you purchase and download the wave versions of KRC Mathwaves, you'll wind up with a whole bunch of folders like this. So for example, if you're interested in my basic mix wavetables that I talked about in my previous video, you'd go into that folder and you're going to have these subfolders. You're going to have like mix wavetables basic, variable frequency, blah, blah, blah. Let's go get this one. I'll just select the folder. And now what's going to happen is we're going to churn for a little bit. There's no progress indicator except that, the mouse, the cursor changes to indicate that we're doing something. But literally all it's doing is copying that folder over to here. Let's see, where is it? See, there's mix wavetables, variable frequency, position, and resonance, which we just copied. And so then I have access to that waveform. Now, I've already talked about this, but the other way you can do this, you can have this user folder open. Again, it's ProgramData, Arturia, Samples, Pigments. We'll just navigate up a little bit, right? So like if I go here up to ProgramData, I would find Arturia, and then under Arturia, you see Pigments, but this is not where the samples are. The samples are in samples/Pigments. Okay, and then you can see the factory stuff. There's miss, I'm not sure it's in there. And then the user folder, okay? And what we could do is just from some other part of our file system, we could either copy, or if this is the only application you have for playing wave format wavetables, you could just move the folder and just know that, well, you'd moved your source files over there, right? So let's go and just grab something else from the collection. Let's look at like the format wavetables. Let's go get the format squares pitch. And so I'll copy them and then just paste them over here. Right? And then when I run Pigments, they will show up. Come on, Pigments, you can do it. And again, I'm in demo mode, so even though it says that you can't import export, I guess that refers to something else, because you can definitely import wavetables. Now, if I go under basic waveforms, we will see that I have, what did I just copy over here? What was it? Format squares. There's format squares, so there it is. And there's all the files that are in it. So it's pretty reasonable. Now, this is not quite as nice, you know, as in Modwave, where you've got a real librarian, you can search it and stuff like that, but it's perfectly serviceable, and it kind of looks like there's no limit to the number of wavetables you could have loaded, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, that is how you import wavetables, particularly a giant collection of wavetables like KRC Mathwaves into Arturia Pigments. Again, go get KRC Mathwaves. It's 29 bucks. It's often on sale, and you find it at wavetables.lol. Also, there will be links in the description. Like and subscribe. I'm commonly here talking about new types of waveforms and synthesis things, and you never want to miss an exciting, talky episode of me yammering on about wavetables. And I am kind of interesting. So I'll see you later. Ciao.